Okay, guys, we're back. We're gonna power the war machine with more content on YouTube. If you don't recognize me yet, my name's Alex. I do YouTube videos about stuff in Canada, mortgages, real estate, economy, life. But I'm an AI guy, so a lot of people don't like me. So the perspective our team has on Canada, our economy is get into tech now. I've just finished polishing off one of the prototypes for our customers. So I'm trying to find some time to do a quick video before my next meeting. And I really think it's important that we sort of are trying to understand the relationship between the U.S. and Canada. It's pretty contentious right now. A lot of Canadians are not going to the U.S. U.S. doesn't like that because they need the revenue from some of our Canadian travelers. And I like these CBC segments that this guy does. He makes it very easy to explain. So we're going to get into it. And we're going to see what Andrew has to say about Canadian travelers and the starving U.S. travel industry. Let's take a look.
I'm going to come right out and say it. The Canada-U.S. relationship isn't great right now.
Donald Trump declaring on social media that he's officially called off trade talks with Canada.
Our relationship with the United States will never again be the same as it was.
The relationship between its people isn't great. From the very top, Donald Trump, Mark Carney, this icy toast immediately after Trump recently called off trade talks, but right down to regular people like you and me. And I especially mean that if you're Canadian like me. Because look at these bars, round trip car trips by Canadians to the US. Those are COVID numbers over there. You kind of expect those to be low, but 2025, year one of Trump term two, that's a massive cliff. The latest data showing a more than 30% drop in traffic.
With everything going on in the US, I feel like a lot of Canadians kind of want to stay home.
Won't be going to the US.
No. We're not going to America. We're not spending our money there. It's Canada first, baby.
Every tally and projection I've seen for 2025 is that the U.S. economy will lose billions of dollars in tourist revenue. And what's more, the fundamental way we see travel here in Canada, is that something we do down south or within our own borders? That's been upended. Let me show you how, and the way that's making some Americans real worried.
Before he gets into that, my parents, they live right on the border of Niagara Falls and the States, so they used to go to and from the States all the time. I think that's something called a Nexus Pass or something. They just go right over the border, buy what they want, come back. I wasn't a large fan of that just because they were going over spending money for sometimes no reason, just because they could. Boomers. And then, they have a good time, bring us all back a bunch of stuff, and they tell us about their trip. That doesn't happen anymore. I mean, they're older now, so they probably travel less. But I remember there was a time when they were going there quite a bit, and all of a sudden just stopped. And a lot of the Americans, their friends, who would come to visit them, sort of stop visiting and going to their houses over the border in Niagara and stuff like that. So there is like a little bit of a rift happening between Canadians and the U.S., especially when it comes to travel. Canadians literally spend billions of dollars in the States traveling. And a lot of industries in the States, companies rely on Canadians to spend money on an annual basis, like people going to Florida for vacation or hopping over the border to shop, travel, stuff like that. So it's just interesting to see how the sentiment behind politics, Trump, Carney, all that stuff, like, oh my God, like, I'm not a politician, I'm a technologist first, so I don't really care who's in office. Are they behind technology? Are they trying to do better by humanity by improving our living standards? Is Trump doing that? Is Carney doing that? Who knows? But what I can say is the rift between them sort of causing a rift between the populations, and that we're no longer visiting the States and spending money, and the States is getting a little bit uncomfortable about that.
Truth is, California just wouldn't be California without Canada.
Nice.
Thank you, Canada.
If you don't understand the rules of power, you will certainly lose to someone who does.
We have this.
I'm going to teach you how to.
Nice glasses, brother. I'll come back to your class, Jeffrey.
What do you say to Canadians that don't want to go to the U.S. now because of Year 50 for state talk, because of the trade war, the tariffs?
Yeah.
Well,
I understand that. Look, I understand that. It's something that will get worked out. There's still great love between the two countries.
Yeah, so
look at those bros, those old bros. It's so funny watching them trying to get a look at Carney's face. He's like, "Why am I here?"
Between the two countries.
Yeah, so maybe not. Let's talk about the Canada-US border. In April, new rules kicked in where if you're a Canadian staying longer than 29 days in the US, you need to register your presence with the US government. That means getting photographed and fingerprinted. For some, that's no big deal. A recent Angus Reid poll suggested somewhere up to a third of Canadians are relatively unbothered by any of that. But the other 2/3, somewhere between concerned and this feels invasive.
I felt ambushed because it happened so quickly, and I was not given a choice to have the picture taken.
My gosh, we did I did a video covering this guy and him getting upset at the U.S. border because they have new systems that require biometric scanning, photographing your face, making sure you're in their systems. Hey guys, you don't like that stuff? Don't go to the U.S. This guy, he went through the border and he had people running up to him taking his picture. He didn't like it, or he got uncomfortable from it, and then he got on the news.
Ambush because it happened so quickly, and I was not given a choice to have the picture taken.
I don't like it. I don't like that they're taking so much information from us. It's a little unnerving. I think everything he's doing is kind of helping to decrease travel from and to the United States.
Now, I'm willing to bet everything, like quite literally all of my stuff, that this woman has a Facebook account. He probably has a Facebook account too. So guys, if you're afraid of the US taking your picture at the border and like the US having a facial identification of your person, stop using Facebook.
I think it is significant. You've got people that are regular travelers saying that this is a big deal to them. They feel concerned. If you're already feeling some anxiety about crossing over the border, this isn't going to help that. You know, having to be fingerprinted and put into a registry is not likely to make people more likely to want to travel there.
So check out the latest travel data we're getting from both sides of the border. This line here, those are Canadian round-trip car trips to the US for all of last year, month by month. But here's what 2025 looked like, starting in January with Trump's inaugural take on Canada.
Canada should be a 51st state. Canada's a very bad abuser. Canada's been ripping us off for a long time. Without the U.S., Canada really doesn't have a country.
Year over year, we've now seen 10 straight months of decline, totaling millions fewer trips to the U.S. in 2025 alone.
Because of Trump, I'm not going to travel to the States.
It's going to be a while before we ever decide to do anything in the U.S.
And it's not just the land border Canadians are staying away from. Air travel is the same way. This first line, Canadian return trips from the U.S. by plane for all of 2024, and then you see in 2025, January to October, drops once again in every single month. Travel to and from the U.S. clearly down year over year. And mind you, this is at a time when Canadian travel overseas is consistently up year over year. So this is a costly problem for America. The latest projection from the U.S. Travel Association is that their economy will be down nearly $6 billion in tourist revenue compared to last year, driven primarily by the fact that so many Canadians just aren't coming.
Style and substance in the GMC Sierra Denali Ultimate.
It's a nice looking truck.
Now, just so we don't risk blowing this out of proportion, when it comes to America's economy as a whole, tourism and travel is just one piece of the puzzle, right? Because consider juggernaut industries like finance and real estate, professional services like law, consulting, marketing. There's government work, the entire manufacturing sector. All of those dwarf travel and tourism, which is mostly in this bucket right here, but even then, only a part of what's listed there. So I most often see tourism as being responsible for around 3% of US GDP. But 3% of $30 trillion is still almost $1 trillion. And
yeah, I mean, like, let's get serious, guys. If Canadians stopped going to the U.S., U.S. wouldn't give a shit, guys. They'd figure something out. They have so much money, so much industry, so much everything. They'd miss us, but they wouldn't care. Who really cares? Canadians getting emotional about Trump. That's who cares.
Indirectly, maybe there are a couple trillion more in economic spin-offs. So that's a lot of livelihoods on the line.
You are looking at a multi-billion-dollar industry. Literally, about 1 out of 12 American jobs are related to travel and tourism.
And Canada is a key part of that. While most travelers within the U.S. are American, Canada is the single biggest outside source of visitors. Just over a quarter of all international visitors to the U.S. come from Canada. Together with Mexico, that's more travel to the U.S. than all other countries combined.
It's our largest international market. You're not just talking about, an on-the-surface economic impact loss of visitor spending. You're talking lost tax revenue to the states and communities. You're also looking at job losses potentially, especially in our border communities. There's a lot of jobs dependent upon that cross-border tourism.
But projection down the road from the U.S. Travel Association that even with big draws like the FIFA World Cup and America 250 celebrations next year, Canadian travel won't recover to pre-COVID or even pre-Trump levels for another 5 years.
Oh no!
We've seen a 50% decline in our Canadian members.
We just had a large festival last weekend and 50 or 60 of the ticket holders just did not come.
So American businesses have been doing what they can to win Canada back.
If you come from Canada with a Canadian driver's license or a passport, or you use that goofily delightful Canadian accent, we'll give you a 30% discount.
That's what Americans think about us, guys. We're goofy. From Canada, Oh, what you on about, I love it. So cute.
Destinations for Canadians are New York, Washington, Florida, and California. From those states, we've seen ad campaigns specifically targeting those Canadians they can't afford to lose. From New York, just an hour outside of Montreal.
To our neighbors in Quebec, we know travel choices can be complicated. But if you're looking for a getaway that still feels like home, Plattsburgh and the Adirondack Coast are here for you.
From California, an ad that almost sounds more like an apology than an invitation.
Without you, we wouldn't be as beautiful. And we wouldn't be as full-bodied.
Oh, shoot. Sorry, guys.
Or delicious.
Trying to look at
and that messaging comes right from the top.
The Golden State and Canada have always shared so much in common. Sure, you know who's trying to stir things up back in D.C., but don't let that ruin your beach plans.
It's like this very intentional effort to say, Canada, we're not Trump's America.
California, it's the ultimate playground, 2,000 miles from Washington and a world away in mindset. Because here in California, we've got plenty of sunshine and a whole lot of love for our neighbors up north.
But there's a problem here because all of these ads I've just shown you are from months ago. If they're having an impact, I don't know if I'm seeing it. And that might be because American cities and states, they're not just up against this monumental push effect of Donald Trump on Canadians, steering them away. They're also contending with the pull of a country that, for Trump's entire second term, has been trying to get its own people to stay.
And now is also the time to choose Canada. It might mean changing your summer vacation plans to...
Whenever I watch Trudeau talk, I feel like he's just like he's in pain or he's uncomfortable or something. Like there's something about him talking to Canadians where I think like, man, just sit down or something. Like you look uncomfortable.
Stay here in Canada and explore the many national and provincial parks, historical sites, and tourist destinations our great country has to offer.
It's like he's talking to his kid. It's like he's talking, let's just say Justin Trudeau had a kid and he was like I don't want to say mentally challenged, but he had some serious problems in his head. And he's trying his best to get this kid to do something like clean your room, brush your teeth, clean your room, please. Like the way he talks to Canadians, it's almost like he thinks like we're children and he's like our dad. But it turns out he was literally just a stepdad at this point.
Being our own best customer will put more of every public dollar back into our economy.
And this appears to line up with how Canadians feel. According to an Angus Reid survey, standing up for Canada was a top reason Canadians gave for why they're planning to travel to the US less. And when asked, so then, where are you going instead? Tied for the number one answer was travel within Canada.
So 87% of those travelers say that they'll find somewhere else to go, and Canada is tied for the top destination alongside just other destinations outside of North America.
Yeah, sure, buddy.
This week we were planning on going, but we decided to make a different decision.
Stand up for Canada. You know, they're poking us in the eye, so we got to poke them back.
The Canadian government...
If that guy gets poked in the eye, he's going to keel over, guys. We cannot stand up to America, guys. We have to work with them. I don't know how many Canadians are going to have to, like, lose their jobs, lose their houses before we realize, like, hey guys, our market, our industries are like significantly entangled with the US. We need their industry. We need services, products. They need the same from us. Like, disengaging from them, and travel is a great example. Look how distraught both sides of the agreement. It's like having a husband and a wife who are fighting in a marriage for a very inconsequential reason, and they're going to go through a divorce, and dad's going to have to visit the kid on the weekends or whatever. That's what it looks like when I look at Carney and Trump. And us Canadians, we're like the kids who have to suffer through this idiocracy.
Has seized on this, introducing discounts on attractions that are federally owned or managed. So that means free admission to certain national parks. Same goes for some museums in Ottawa, Quebec, and beyond. Children can even travel for free on Via Rail. And all year, we've seen proof that more and more Canadians don't want to visit the US. Early this year, Canadian domestic travel up. Money spent up even more. Then later in the year, over the summer, an even bigger spike, billions of dollars more flowing within the Canadian economy. Canadian Airbnb bookings within Canada up in a big way. Growth in almost every single province and territory, and really big growth at that.
It's going to continue if we don't see a significant change in American politics with respect to Canada, but also within the United States as well.
Americans are hoping this is just a hiccup, but if this becomes a longer term event, you're looking at the loss of billions of dollars of potential tourism revenue in the future.
Yeah. What this all adds up to is bad news for the US economy. Not make or break on a national level, but certainly a pain point on a local level. And suffer enough of those over a long enough period, that's when this becomes about more than just the dollars and cents.
All right, guys. So, this was a pretty soft video. I honestly just had to get something up today because I got a meeting in 10 minutes. I'm going to get crunched for time. But guys, we have to work with the US, guys. They're our next door neighbors. They have a lot of money. Their existence is quite literally a deterrent from, bad actors who would want to harm Canada because the US is beside us. It's like the US is having the US beside Canada. It's like having that older brother who is like strictly an asshole. He's so mean to you. He like you would think that he doesn't even love you, even though he's your blood brother. That's how mean he is. Even going as far as taking your allowance, taking your opportunities like your jobs, your girlfriends, like all this. Like he's just so abusive to you. But because he exists, because of the sheer fact that he just simply exists, he's a deterrent from harmful stuff, and also, we get to help him every now and then with stuff that he can't do because of whatever reason. So we get to make money from that, be it like natural resources or what have you. I don't even know what Canada supplies to the US anymore, to be honest. They're moving all their operations internally. But to me, like I've never seen the relationship between Canada and the US be this contentious in my life. And I always remember growing up like, yeah, we're the US little brother, da 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 da, whatever. And it's like that sentiment has changed so drastically, but for what? For what? Because Trump is president? The US is still doing the same stuff, guys. It's not like their policies have obviously Trump has made some pretty influential changes, but the US is still going to be the US. Canada's still going to be Canada, except probably a little bit worse and less things to offer. So we have to find ways to work with them. And this might be an unpopular opinion. And I might get Canadians going, this guy's an idiot. We don't need the US for anything. Try to run any of your technical or digital operations without US systems. Google, Microsoft. Don't ever go on Facebook again. And then you'll start to see how important the US is in your life. Like I mean, being a tech person, I'm constantly interacting with Americans and American systems. So like I see it front hand or front and center. Like we need the US. We literally we rely on the US to survive. Like I don't care what anyone says. You can call me an idiot, you can call me an asshole. Actually, go into the comments, dislike this, and or go into the comments, leave something colorful if you think I'm an idiot. We love it. We love the engagement because it pumps up our visibility through US large language models and US indexing algorithms for more lead generation. All built by the US, guys. So we really got, I'm trying to plead with Canadians to continue to working with our US counterparts here. It's going to be done. Whoever decides that they don't want to work with the US, that's no problem. You can figure it out in Canada. No worry. No one's going to mind. You don't have to do anything with the US. I personally am still going to work with the US clients, US partners, because they're the most powerful country in the world. That's the bottom line. It's just because I'm a Canadian and Trump says something doesn't mean my feelings are hurt. Well, I'm Canadian. Oh, shit. He thinks Canada should be the 51st state. Oh, well, who cares? And that's the one thing I see a lot of Canadians doing is caring about what this man is saying when sometimes he's probably saying the most outlandish shit you'll ever hear. So it's like we really got to be less reactive to this stuff, guys. Don't want to go to the US, don't travel to the US, don't want to do business with them, don't do business. Just make sure you're deleting your Facebook app, you're deleting your Instagram app, you're taking your Apple cell phone and you're throwing it in the garbage. As well as if you have any, maybe you can use Samsung, actually, I don't know, but any US products, if you don't want to deal with the US, throw out all the products and services. See how well you do. I guarantee you'll be back in literally the next few moments after you realize you can't get any technology or you can't get any work done without your computer and all of what I'm like. Literally, I'm looking at systems in front of myself: MacBooks, screens, digital systems. It's all built in. It's all US, guys. Like, let's get serious. Anyways, I got to get to my next meeting, but I just wanted to make one for you guys today. Again, if you don't recognize me, my name is Alex. I run an AI agency in Toronto. We leverage strictly US systems to help Canadians adopt artificial intelligence for their businesses to become more efficient, make more money, hire more Canadians. We're using US systems to do that, guys. So if you like what we're doing, like what we're talking about, hit like, subscribe for more. If you don't, hit dislike, leave some colorful comments. At the end of the year, we're going to do a big roundup of all the comments, literally every comment. I'm going to it's either going to be New Year's Eve or New Year's Day. I'm going to do a roundup of all the comments. I'm going to respond to them all on a video that you guys can see. I might do a live. I might do my first live, and then we'll see what you guys think of the engagement. I mean, I personally believe I should at least try one time to respond to the comments because a lot of them are mean, like really mean. But if you're gonna put yourself on YouTube and put yourself out there, like you got to be willing to take that. Like we literally get new business for the agency because I'm doing this, so I don't mind getting hit in the face or punched in the nose a couple times. Who cares? Get money. Anyways, look forward to the next one. Bye now.